All right, guys, welcome to Storytime with H4T. Got a pretty good little story for you today. Got my Arctic cup. Good. Got some water in there. Okay, guys, well, this happened to me when I was 15 years old. So we're going back to when I was just a young pup. There were some people at my school that were going to have this big party. And the majority of the people that were going to be at this party were people that I didn't hang with and didn't like. It was jocks, football players, some of the people in sports, some of the uppity people that always kind of had their nose in the air. I just didn't get along with, didn't hang with the majority of these people. There was one guy that was going that I was cool with that also hung with these people that was telling me, hey man, you got to stop by. It's going to be this big party. It's going to be great. Just stop by, whatever, this and that. So, the night of the party, hey, I'm 15 years old, I'm bored, curious. So I ride my bicycle over to where this party is. And I knock on the door. Somebody just looks at me through the window and just opens the door and walks away. So I go into this party, and pretty much the first thing I'm thinking is, man, this is probably the lamest party I have ever seen. Let me give you the scenario. It's just people sitting on couches, sitting around. Some were smoking dirt weed, and they were drinking generic beer. I didn't drink or smoke weed or smoke cigarettes or any of that stuff. And there was not one girl in the house. And I'm like, man, this is super lame. I was hoping there'd at least be some females there. So one guy had seen I was there and was telling everybody, man, he's going to narc us out. What's he doing here? We're all going to be in trouble. Whoever lived there, their parents were out of town or whatever. He was saying, he's going to narc us out at school and saying this to me or about me. And, what's he doing here and all this stuff. Now you kind of get the reason why I didn't like any of these guys. And then other ones were trying to get me to smoke. And I was just like, whatever. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with their dirt weed and, and stuff like that. So I was only there for a little bit. And basically, it was about all I could take, and things were starting to come to a boil, and I just left. Went outside, got on my bike, and left. And once again, my hate for the majority of these guys was rekindled. So this is getting to the interesting part of what happened. I'm out riding my bike around and stuff. It's dark. I don't even remember the time, to tell you the truth. And all of a sudden I hear somebody say, hey, come here. And I knew right away when I heard that certain sound, I was like, something's going on, something's going down. So what it was it was three guys from the party. One was the guy that I was kind of cool with, that knew these people. One was a football player. At that time, he was big. His nickname was Dozer. He was stocky, and he was just as wide as he was tall. And then there was a third guy. And I'm like, so I just kind of stopped or whatever. What's going on? Went to these guys. So the football player, Dozer, thrusts forward and pushes me about with everything he's got when I'm on my bike. And I fall. I go hitting the ground and sliding with my bike. Now, You have no idea the pain that can be had when you fall with a bicycle in between your legs. It's much worse than just falling down. So I had a cut on my palm, and I had a cut on my elbow, pieces of gravel and stuff I had to get off of my arm like this. There was dirt and gravel. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just sitting there going, what, you know, what's the deal? What's going on? And the guy that knows me is going, calm down, everybody, calm down. And then luckily the guy that knew me, that I was cool with, must have been pretty smart, because he thought of something. He said, have him empty his pockets, have him empty his pockets. So they're like, take everything out of your pockets. I had on wind pants, and I had absolutely nothing on me. I didn't even have a house key. The house was going to be unlocked when I went home. I had absolutely nothing in these pockets, just little flimsy wind pants. So I pull my pockets out, and he's like, there, see, I told you. He's telling the guys, he's like, there, I told you. I knew it wasn't him. So here, let me tell you what had happened. After I left the party and got in this conflict with these people, just as a coincidence, somehow this happened. Somebody went and slashed the tires of every car there. One of the guys had this big van, not just one tire, not a couple. Every single car was sitting on the ground, on the rim. Slashed every tire completely. So then the one guy that pushed me down is going, yeah, the cops are coming, the cops are coming. And so right away I turned and I said, that's great. I said, because now I got a couple of things I got to talk to the cops about too. So tell me where they're going to be. So someone told me, and I go with these guys to where the cops are. So when I'm there waiting, the guy that pushed me down, he knows I'm serious now, and he starts to backpedal. Big tough dozer. Man, Paul, I'm sorry, man. Don't tell. He's going like this. Don't tell. And when the cop gets there, I'll do whatever, man. I'll give you money, whatever you want. Don't tell, man. Please don't tell. This guy's now crawling to me saying don't tell. And I didn't, because that's just the kind of guy I am. So basically, here what happened was, they kind of figured that it had to be a neighbor. This neighbor had complained before. This man had complained before, probably more than once, about the parties that had been going on at the house. The guy knew the parents were out of town, the neighbor did, and after everyone's head cleared up, and the dirt weed was gone and the generic beer was out of their system, they realized that what it had been was that the neighbor came over and slashed all the tires because he had complained frequently with the police and the parents about the parties that go on there. So they knew that what he was trying to do was he was trying to get people to not ever want to come back. And what would you do what would you do to a group of kids that are in high school to make them never want to come back? Well, if you slashed every one of their tires and it was their parents' car, or it was their car, they got no money, they're not going to want to go back to that house. So this is what they were pretty 99% sure happened, was the neighbor did it. So everything was cool after that, and so that's what went down. I had 3 guys that attempted to jump me right off the bat, and I had no idea what was going on. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's one of my stories from back in the day. And I definitely got a lot more stories, too, I could tell you guys. We'll do some more Midnight Hour with H4T. All right, guys, until next time, I hope you have a good day. And this is H4T.